What's going on? How's it going? Here we have my tune Flowzone, and I'm just gonna run through some stuff for you so you can see what's going on in the project and how I go about some things, and also just so you can gawk at my 3x OSC madness. This is the first pattern. I work in this way where I like to have all my main stuff going on one pattern. So I've got my beat down here. You can just see these are all my drums. What have I got? Kick, snare, ghost snares, hats, some vocal hits. Vocal hits aren't hitting in this pattern, but I've got all that stuff down here. That's usually what I build first. And I've built this groove, and then I've got bass and stuff going on over here. So this OSC is like this bass. Then I got this one. I got some chords here, so it's actually filtered off at the moment, but I'll just show you what it is. So if we get rid of the filter, a harmless patch that is doing chords. Then I got another 3x OSC here, acting as a kind of synth, and that's all that's going on here. What's this one? Some more synth. We've got more stuff up here too. This is stuff that I used later on for building the intro, but yeah, I usually just start with the drop. This is what pattern 1 is. It's right on the drop. As you can see over here, the drop begins with pattern 1, and then it goes on to pattern 10, pattern 7, pattern 16, pattern 3. So it's all over the place because that's how I build out my sections. It's usually just based on one pattern, and then I'll use make unique and do heaps of variations. So if we listen to this pattern, so the chords are in there, but they're automated off at the start of the drop. So let's hear what it is without the chords for a sec. And then if I scroll through my other patterns, you'll hear it's just variations of the same thing. You can see not much change, just a few things pushed around and create a variation. And that's pretty much how I always do it. And then you see pattern 3 is a variation, pattern 4 is a variation, pattern 5 is a variation, pattern 6, pattern 7, pattern 8, and it just keeps going as many variations as you want. Over here is where I kind of start using automation to bring in the chords. I've got it labeled here, chords low pass, and this is just, you know, I like to label stuff so I don't get confused and lost in my project. So over here was when I wanted the chords to come in. So you can hear those nice major chords hitting hard. Yeah, and then we're gonna look over here and see that, yeah, like my chains is just like, you know, I just throw effects on there, whatever is necessary, whatever sounds cool. And you know me, I'm not using anything fancy at all. It's pretty much stock FL. I just find that gets the job done. I can make amazing songs that make me happy, and I don't need any more plugins. I'm partly just like lazy. I can't be bothered like installing plugins. You know, file management is a bit of a nightmare. I am here to make music. I don't want to mess around, and I just want to get it going as fast as possible. So that's a big reason why I use stock. But it's fun, man. It's a limitation as well, so it creates more of a challenge on my creativity. Then if we want to look at, okay, maybe we'll look at the patch. Hope my mic's not falling down. All right, so the patch of this crazy bass. I made this one. So, you know, I've got a bit of a Reese down here, and it's on a plus 16 semitone, so can't actually remember what that would be. I think it's it's a major third, and then I've got this sine wave on the first oscillator all the way down to act as a sub bass, and that's a way that I enjoy, you know, making some gnarly sounds. So I usually make this sort of patch, and then I'll clone it, make a variation of it. I didn't change any of this. I literally just changed the envelope stuff so that it's got a different shape to it, you know? And I put more portamento on, like that's a crazy amount of slide. And now I've got a nice variation to use there. This one, the shape is a lot more tight and plucky, and there's no portamento on there. So the patches, you know, just a 3x Osc patch. Then over here, I've run it into a chorus. I've run that into a treble boost, straight into Blood Overdrive with the color on max, because why not? Just more messing around with random parameters. This is that filter, so I use a Fruity filter. It's just really simple. I like it. You can use it as a low pass, a high pass, or a band pass. Of course, I'll mess around with a Love filter often as well if I want to create specific shapes and patterns. But just for a basic thing that I'm going to use automation with, I'll just use Fruity filter. And then it's just being limited a tiny bit as well. The chain, you know, creates that distortion, helps that harmonic-y thing come out. The top part of the bass. The chorus adds some shape to it, I guess. It's just a bit more stereo sounding. You know, I'm not a technical type of producer. I'm a composer and a songwriter first, and I'm a engineer and producer second. And yeah, I could do a lot more studying on my music tech stuff, but like I said before, I just like to get going as soon as possible, as fast as possible, and make something that makes me excited, you know? So that's kind of how I approach beats. I don't worry about it being the cleanest or the most technically proficient, high fidelity, beautiful technique and headroom, or no phasing, or, you know, lots of stuff that you can get involved in and get interested in and get lost in as well. So that's what I don't want to do, and I'm not excusing myself. Like, obviously, you know, I can do more work on that stuff and it would benefit my sound, but I really just value having a groove that slaps, having a vibe, and having energy and the emotion. And that's what I'm sitting here for. I want to make that stuff. If you guys want, I can do a video or something where I build this patch from scratch. This type of patch. I make them all the time. Just I never save presets. I'll just like make a new patch for every song, because it's pretty easy and fun, and that way it's going to be unique. Also, you get faster at it each time, so that's another reason why I don't save presets. I just like building something from scratch every time, and you know, you just get really, really quick at it. What else can I show you? I think the arrangement's pretty simple. We've got an intro section, go into the first drop section, then a second drop section, and then a third drop section, then back into the intro. Then same thing again. First drop, second drop, third drop. So I like to evolve my drops. I don't want to just have a section, does what it does, and then go away and do a breakdown or a build up again. I want my drop to hit, everyone enjoy that, I enjoy that, and then it evolves in some way. I just find that the most exciting thing, when your drop kind of has more up its sleeve than you first realize. So the intro was inspired by a certain video game for this intro, and I basically just tried to conjure that vibe that's very nostalgic to me and exciting. And I did it through, there's some piano chords there. There is a note. There is some high sine wave swells. And then there is a kind of extra note. Man, just a bunch of random things happening. What's this one? And that's my Reese. So that's like a bass drone that just holds it down for that whole build-up section. And then over here we have another drone, background drone, but it's not a bass, it's just a paddy kind of sound. And this one was actually made in Harmless. Or I pulled up a random pad patch. And I'm guessing I would have washed it out with some extra verb so that it's right in the background. I also did a crazy EQ shape here to get rid of most of the top end and low end. Without that, it's got more of a character to it. I like, pulling everything out and just choosing where in the tonal spectrum I'm going to have that element. So again, everyone can, think what they want to think about my technical approach, but I just do it all through feeling and through desire. I desire a certain element coming up in the middle, so that's the shape that I landed on on my EQ. Yeah, man. I don't know what else I can talk about here, but that's why I need you guys to let me know. What do you want me to explain? And what do you want to see about my process? Because I'm trying to show you. Yeah, this is Flowzone, and I've linked all my drums down here. I've got my crazy peak controller thing going on. You've possibly seen me do that before. If you haven't, I've got videos on YouTube and I've got tutorials showing just the sidechain technique. I like this type of sidechaining because I get to see a visual representation of the sidechain through the faders, and I don't find that annoying in terms of balancing each element. Like, obviously I can't use this fader anymore because it's bound to the controller. Obviously I can still influence it by changing this setting on my peak controller, but I usually don't. I usually just set up the exact sine chain that I want, and then if I need to alter the levels, I'll do it through a limiter. Bring something down, push something up, or whatever. But yeah, this has been Flowzone. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you want to see in other videos, and now I'm gonna film another one for another track. Peace out. Lots of love.